Alright, hi, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something a bit different today, and we're actually not going to be working with Koda. Instead, my friend Em will be taking me over to someone's place that I hadn't seen in a very long time. Anyways, today I will be having a much needed lesson on groundwork. Okay, I hope I'm not the only one who feels like Santa Claus whenever they're carrying like a hay net or something to their horse. Like, I don't know, Santa hooves, would that be? No, that would be the actual, like, if Santa Claus had a horse, that'd probably be the name of the horse. That's a random tangent, but this is not a hay net. Obviously it's a trash bag, but I'm bringing Koda's breakfast hay to him. He's in the pasture, and I don't think I'm gonna have much time to do anything with him today. Or anytime. I inhaled air funny. Right, he's over there. I'm gonna drop his hay right here. And then I'm gonna stack it like crazy. Tower of hay to make sure he actually sees his food. Oh my gosh, my voice. So the person I'll be seeing today, her name is Alex, and I met her at a boarding facility that I worked at. She had just this wonderful pony named Pixel. So today's gonna be all about groundwork and confidence building, specifically confidence building, because that's where I really struggle. I feel like my lack of confidence has been a theme on my channel, even if it hasn't been blatantly said out loud. So Alex, again, the instructor that will be giving me a lesson behind the camera, will be giving me some much needed exercise, encouragement, and guidance to bring back home to Koda. I unfortunately didn't get any footage of me working in the round pen with her pony. I don't remember her other pony's name, but I didn't get any footage of that, so I am sorry about that. Honestly, I was so wrapped up in playing with her ponies that I hardly got anything on camera. Either way, I still wanted to talk to you guys about what I worked on and worked through with with Alex. So the biggest thing that her and I discussed was my self-consciousness affecting my body language and hindering my communication with my horse or horses in general. I'm overly worried about how silly I might look or how I might do something wrong, that I overthink just about everything that I do and become incredibly apologetic or insecure in my body language. So this confidence issue is not just a confidence thing with horses, it's just in life in general. So the thing is, my lack of confidence in my everyday life has come in and affected my life with horses and working with horses. So anything that I felt I did wrong or miscommunicated to the pony I was working with caused me to stop in my tracks, adjust my energy levels, and constantly apologize. So I was just confusing the heck out of this pony. One moment was asking her to trot with my energy, and then the next moment she was stopping because I just was fluctuating. I couldn't keep consistent energy because I was overthinking all of it. That is something that all of my instructors have talked to me about, is I'm overly worried, I overthink things, and I'm overly self-conscious and insecure. That is something that I have to work on if I want to progress with Koda. I spent most of my time in my lesson saying I'm sorry, so I basically got a slap on the wrist for saying I'm sorry all the time. Not literally, but that is, again, another thing that all my instructors have tried to get on to me about, is how frequently I apologize. But I feel bad for when I do things incorrectly, but I'm only human. I'm going to make mistakes, and I just have to kind of accept that. And that's kind of the point of my channel, is learning to accept that. But the one thing I've not done is accepted the fact that I make mistakes, or I don't think I've ever truly accepted the fact that I make a lot of mistakes. I don't want to. I'm very insecure about it, and that's something I want to kind of put out there, because I feel like there's a lot of other people who feel insecure about making mistakes, or maybe who lack confidence. And if I could just reach those people and just say, you're not alone, that's kind of the whole point of my channel. Like I said, my confidence has been something that's been discussed with previous instructors that I've had, that my lack of confidence impedes on my riding ability, and it's also impeding on how I handle horses And since I've only worked with Koda the past year, my confidence has decreased even more than it had when I was working with multiple horses a week. So I'm just so worried about screwing up and my horse hating me, or us going so far backwards and me not being able to fix that I can no longer lead like any horse confidently, specifically my horse. I'm constantly looking at Koda. I'm constantly looking at what I'm doing. I'm constantly worrying about every little thing, and my stress and my energy levels in that cause Koda to be more stressed than he needs to be, because he's so worried about whatever I'm worried about. So over the course of the next few weeks, my goal will be to stop overthinking every little thing I'm doing and be a little more accepting of making mistakes. And I say over the next few weeks, but I don't know how long it's going to take for me to do all that, and I just kind of want to bring you guys along with me in that, that journey, I suppose. And so again, the goal is to be a little more accepting of making mistakes, and again, not worry so much about how silly I might look in the process. I feel like I repeated myself a lot there, and I apologize. But speaking of how silly I might look, let's talk about my riding, okay? I've not ridden in over a year. I've had a total of 3 random lessons in 2023, but stopped properly riding sometime in August of 2022. I don't have much reason for why. I had only been riding for a total of 10 months when I quit. And this isn't really something I've talked about on my channel, since Koda is a horse above my skill level. I felt quite ashamed, admittedly, but I think it's important to talk about. So, yeah, I got a horse that is above my skill level. I wasn't too worried about the riding part of my skill level, just because riding's not like... I love riding, but it's not the most important thing to me when owning a horse and my relationship with my horse. So I didn't really think about it, and I was told that I'd be fine if I gotten off the track. Now, the thing is, people did not expect me to get off the track that attacked people, so yeah. And I think at the time I had a lot more confidence working with horses, so I don't think people had much of a reason to be as worried about me working with and off the track. But again, over time, I've become less confident, and that has caused some issues, which I think you guys have seen over the course of the time frame I've had this channel. I don't know if any of that made sense. I kind of blanked out halfway through saying whatever I just said. So yeah, this year, I'm looking to start riding again and to improve my riding. Alex let me have a ride on one of her ponies, Pixel, and get a feel for the saddle again. It wasn't really a lesson in this case like it was when I was working in the round pen. She would give me input to help me out when I was struggling, but it was more so for me to just mess around, see how I felt riding again, and to get an overall look at what I needed to work on and where I was at, And let me tell you, I felt so embarrassed about how weak I was. I really struggled to support Pixel, and I struggled to keep my heels down, and I was stiff, and I was a mess. I will defend myself a little bit here and say that this horse had more buttons on it than I was used to. I was taught on like the kick and go type horses. They had 2 buttons, go and stop, and sometimes the stop wasn't there. So but really and truly, I'm just limited in my riding skill, and that's just something that will come with time. Definitely opened my eyes as to, I felt like I just didn't know how to ride, which, I mean, I was never obviously 10 months riding. I wasn't any sort of advanced rider. I was just a beginner, but I felt like I had forgotten everything I learned. In the riding video, you'll notice I tend to collapse forward a lot, and I struggle to open my shoulders and keep a bend in my elbow. And there's a lot of things going on that you might see and be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, okay? Just be gentle on me in the comments. I might look like a mess. I am a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. We're just seeing what needs to be worked on and how out of shape I am, and we'll continue moving forward from there. But yeah, the biggest takeaway from this day out was not how out of shape I am, but that my lack of confidence, as I've said, and insecurity in myself is hindering the development and progress of mine and Koda's relationship / partnership, which in ways I already knew. Actually, I did already know that, but seeing trained horses mirror my body language, like technically Koda's already mirroring my body language, but seeing horses that know how to move off of your pressure respond to my body language, and I guess seeing them mirror me in such a way was very eye-opening to just how bad my insecurity, lack of confidence, etc. had gotten. Like I was really embarrassed this day. I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What is happening? I felt so bad for confusing this poor horse. So hopefully over the next few weeks we'll see an improvement in my confidence and maybe a little more impulsiveness and a bit less overthinking. I want to try to be a little more honest on my journey and my mistakes in my videos, but I'm so ashamed of making mistakes that I don't always show the raws of what I'm really feeling or experiencing. Every now and again I'll be totally honest with you guys, but I want to be a little more honest as to where I'm at, because I think it's important. I don't think there's enough honesty in the horse world. I think everyone expects perfection, and perfection's just not realistic. Anyways, I hope that made sense. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a great week. Goodbye.